All right, let's talk about research. But forget everything you think you know about it being this big, scary, boring chore. Seriously, let's start thinking of it as an adventure, a real journey of discovery. And today, I'm going to be your guide.
You know the feeling, right? You're staring at that blinking cursor on a totally blank page, and this massive project is just looming over you. That feeling of, where do I even begin? Yeah, we've all been there. It is completely normal. But here's the good news. You're not alone in this. We are going to map this whole thing out, step by step. We'll get you from that feeling of being totally lost all the way to a finished project you can actually be proud of. Okay, so every great adventure needs a direction. And for us, that first big step is all about forging your compass. This is where we figure out what this whole journey is actually about. The best way to do this is to think of it like a funnel. You start out super broad. Let's say your topic is alternative energy. I mean, that's huge, right? So you funnel it down, you narrow your focus to something like hydrogen fuel cell vehicles. Okay, better. Now you can ask a real research question, like, should consumers even buy hydrogen fuel cell cars? And just like that, you're on your way to forming a working thesis. So what is a working thesis? Basically, it's your first stab at answering your big question. The key word here is working. It is not set in stone. In fact, it's probably going to change as you learn more, and that's a good thing. But for now, it's your compass. It's the tool that keeps you pointed in the right direction so you don't get lost in the weeds. Okay, so you've got your compass. It's pointing you in the right direction. What's next? Well, now it's time to gather your clues. This is the fun part, where you start collecting all the raw materials and information for your project. Now, your most powerful clues are going to be your primary sources. These are the real deal, the first-hand, original materials. We're talking about historical documents, raw data from a lab, an original piece of art, you name it. It's like getting an unfiltered, direct look at your topic. And then you have secondary sources. These are the things that interpret or analyze those primary sources. Think about a biography that uses old letters to tell someone's story, or a documentary where experts break down a complex event. This is where you get all that juicy context that helps you make sense of the original evidence. This chart breaks it down perfectly. Right at the top, you've got the primary source, the actual Declaration of Independence. Then you've got a secondary source, like a history book, that analyzes it. And finally, you have a tertiary source, maybe an encyclopedia entry, that just summarizes what the other two are saying. See how they all build on each other? But wait, how do you know if a source you find is any good? Simple. You use the CRAP test. Yeah, you heard me. It's a fantastic little checklist. C is for currency. Is this info up to date? R is for reliability. Is it accurate? Can you trust it? A is for authority. Who wrote this? Are they an actual expert? And P is for purpose. This one is so important. Why was this created? Is it here to inform you? Or is it trying to persuade you? Or maybe even sell you something? You know, finding a bunch of clues is great, but it's only half the battle. If you just throw them all in a pile, they're useless. So now we have to organize everything. It's time to create your treasure map, so all those amazing clues actually lead you to the treasure. First things first, build a working bibliography. Think of this as your own personal library for this one project. Every single time you find a source you might use, a book, an article, whatever, just immediately jot down all the important details. Trust me, doing this as you go is an absolute lifesaver. It'll save you from that last-minute panic of trying to find where you got a quote from, and it's a huge step in avoiding plagiarism. Next up, you need a system for taking notes. And look, there is no one right way to do this. You could go old school with index cards, you could print things out and just go wild with a highlighter, you could keep a big running Word doc, or you could try something like a double-entry notebook where you separate the facts from your own thoughts about them. The point is to find the system that works for you, and then just be consistent with it. All right, we are organized, we've got our system, and now we've come to a fork in the road. When it comes to doing your own research, there are really two fundamental paths you can go down. And it all comes down to one simple but really powerful question. Are you trying to explore the deep, complex why behind something, or are you trying to measure the how many? Your answer to that is going to tell you exactly which path to take. And this table here just lays it all out so clearly. Over on the left, you've got qualitative research. It's all about exploring. You're using things like interviews and open-ended questions to really understand the why with a small group of people. Then, over on the right, you have quantitative research.
This is all about the numbers. Here, you're using surveys and experiments to measure the how many with a much larger group of people. Two very different tools for two very different jobs.
Okay, we've done it. We've forged our compass, we've gathered all our clues, we've created a map, and now we're at the end of the trail. It's time to put all those pieces together and, finally, share the treasure that you've discovered.
I love this quote because it is just so true. And you want to know the single best way to stay organized before you write even one word? Make an outline. It's your blueprint. I know it feels like an extra step, but taking that time to structure your arguments first is the absolute secret to a clear, powerful final project. It will save you so much frustration later. I promise.
So, at the end of the day, what's the big idea here? It's that research isn't just a list of steps you follow. It's a mindset. It's about being genuinely curious, about embracing that journey of discovery and doing it all ethically and honestly so your work actually matters.
And just like that, our map is complete. You have the tools, you have the mindset. The path is laid out right in front of you. Your adventure is officially waiting. So the only question left is, what will you discover?